We are in the midst of a government shutdown as we get ever closer to November the 1st. It'll be a full 30 full month that the federal government will be shut down. What's the latest that you're hearing from Capitol Hill? Obviously, you guys in the House did your work 7 or so weeks ago. Still continues to be held up in the Senate by Democrats. Is there any concept, any idea that this backlog is going to be dealt with anytime soon?
Well, I think the longest shutdown was in 2018, 2019. Donald Trump was president then during his first term. I think it went 34 days or 35 days. My sense is the Democrats want this to be the longest shutdown ever. It would be the entire federal government shutdown. It's not just a partial shutdown like it was in 2018 or 2019. At that point in time, I think we had defense appropriations already passed. There was no concern about military being paid or any of those functions that were under defense appropriations jurisdiction. And maybe Homeland Security was included in that too at that time. So you didn't have to worry about TSA agents, et cetera. But I think probably middle, late next week, this thing gets worked out. Once you get past day 22 of the shutdown, it starts to get pretty painful. And obviously, everybody's read about the Supplemental Nutrition Assistance Program. Those funds are drying up and will not be available for that program starting in November, first part of November. And that affects a lot of people. And then, of course, you have all those essential workers, those that are classified as essential, your TSA agents, ICE agents, et cetera, who are working without pay. Now, they'll get their back pay. They'll be paid for all the work that they have done. And personally, I think they ought to be paid a little more, particularly those that are in the classification of essential and like our air traffic controllers and TSA agents. I think there should be a little extra pay for them, given the serious nature of their duties and the high level of responsibility that they have. That really affects the lives of every American citizen that uses our airways or our roadways or any of the other jobs that are being carried out that are so critically important to public safety. So hopefully by the end of next week, we'll have something worked out. But this could have been avoided. All the Democrats had to do was to pass our clean CR. We passed it in the House, kept the government operating through November the 21st, and the Senate could have done that. And we could have been working on all these other issues that they're trying to tie to the CR, which really have no relation to the CR whatsoever. Chuck Schumer, I think, summed it up best in terms of their thought process. Every day the government shut down, he said that is a better day, for the Democrats, better day for us, as he called it. And we all know who us is. Us is the fortunes of the Democrat political party, which, by the way, is just completely gone off the deep end here in the last several years, and everybody knows it. So hopefully by the end of next week, and we'll get back to some sense of normalcy after that.
Hey, folks may not like to hear this, but the reality is in government, Congressman Rouzer, sometimes you have to compromise. Sometimes you don't get 100% of what you want. Sometimes you get 80. But as you just noted and has continually been the Republican talking point since this began, there is no policy. There's no MAGA agenda in this CR. Is there anything for Republicans to compromise on to meet the Democrats halfway? Or is this just a clean CR that Democrats just need to pass?
Well, it's a clean CR that Democrats need to pass. Now, I'm not saying that at the end of the day there might be some deal that's struck where we pass a clean CR, for example, and have some agreement to in some side deal as it relates to healthcare or some other measure that truly is an issue that needs to be addressed as we move forward. But there's no need in holding the federal government hostage and those who are on SNAP benefits or the single women with children who are in need of the Women, Infants, and Children's program, the WIC program as it's referred to. Those are all important programs to those people, and really it affects their everyday daily life. There's no reason to put the American public through this and hold an appropriations bill, hold a CR hostage for all these demands that aren't even related to the continuing resolution or an appropriations package. They're policy issues. Policy issues should be debated separately.
Yeah, and
That's the bottom.
and it's a lot of policy issues that already were litigated out, passed through the one big beautiful bill that was signed in by the president in early July. One more question on the shutdown. You mentioned that this current CR that you guys in the House voted for 7 or so weeks ago only funds the government through November the 21st. Congressman Rouzer, looking at the calendar, let's say something happened next week. We're back at square one again, another shutdown in just the matter of a couple of days.
Well, what'll happen is, when there's a final package, when there's a final agreement, the Dems finally decide that they're going to vote. There'll be a modification made there on the date. The deadline probably will go to towards the middle of January, if I had to guess. It could be right before Christmas, but given the unsavory nature of this experience, I don't think anybody's going to want to deal with this right before Christmas. So I suspect they'll have an end date of mid-January, have another CR through mid-January. So whatever the Senate passes, the House will certainly pass, and so the ball's truly in the Senate's court. And Senate Democrats, we only need 3 or 4 more. And we'll have the 60 votes we need to get this nightmare over.